peculiar productions.
Shalom family, Sister Dinah here. I wanted to go ahead and do a quick tutorial on how I create a skirt out of a dress. This is a 5T or 5 extra small dress from Old Navy, and now these days they've been making them where after one wash it still is a little bit above the knee. So I went ahead and said I'm just gonna make it into a skirt instead. I cut off the sleeves first. Some people do, you keep the sleeves and make it into pockets, but I want to make my sleeves and upper part of the dress into a headband for her to match. So I'm just cutting it off here, and I'm not measuring or anything like that. I'm just pretty much freestyling it, freehanding it. Okay, so once you're done cutting it, you need to take it inside out, and then we're going to hem it, and it's just showing you that it's 100% cotton. We need to hem it to make sure that it fits around her waist properly. Now I already know my daughter's waist, so it's easy for me to just know where to go ahead and start the sewing. But if you don't know, it's best to go ahead and do measurements for them. And just in case you're doing it for yourself or someone else, you don't want it to be too tight, because there's no elastic or anything like that in the waist. So once I get my desired amount that I want to be around her waist, go ahead and fold it over. Try to make it as neat as possible. And then that's where I'm going to make my lines, because I know how small she is. Alright, so I'm going to put it on level 1. That's just a straight line down. And then we're going to get to sewing it. It's really simple, really easy once you get the hang of it. And I also do this for skirts or anything I buy for her that's too big. You should always do this for him, and you can always take the thread out at a later date once they grow. Alright, cutting it. And excuse my old sewing machine, got tape on it. She's been through a lot. I had it for gonna be 3 years now. But it's really good. It does embroidery as well, but I never tried it. I just stick to the basics. Alright, so then we're gonna do the other side. Make sure it's not tight, because I made it where it was too tight before, and then I had to rip the seam. Trial and error. Alright, so I got both done. And alright, so now we're going to take it from inside out to the correct side so we can see how our seams look. I'm just shaking it out here, and then I'll be able to show you the sides. I'm using a tripod, so it's a little close, sorry. So that's how it looks, and then how it looks on the sides. Pretty nice, pretty neat. Yep, perfect. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get to adding our fringes. So I'm using the same thread and everything, because the fringes are going to be white, because it's white in the dress, and then of course the ribbon is blue. I'm just going to use navy blue. So I get it lined up, and always put it on the top line of the seam, because for her, I don't want it to drag on the floor too long, especially with these type of fringes I'm going to be using. But yeah, just keep it right there. Now, I'm not the best at sewing. I just make sure that they're on there. Lord's will, with time I can just get better with it. But for me, I'm like my worst critic, so I would not be like, oh yeah, I'm the best at sewing. I just keep the law. And even with some of my cut shirts, I still or just sew the ribbon on and then, just cut the fringes, which is really easy as well. So these fringes were really good for little kids. I also use it on some of my longer dresses because it's not, it's really lightweight. It doesn't weigh anything down. So, gonna get my ribbon. And then normally I just use the same stitch on each one, but like whenever my daughter comes in the room while I'm sewing, I just ask her what kind she wants if it's her clothes, so she'll just tell me. I highly doubt she even pays attention to it. So this is me asking her which one she wants, and she's gonna point to the one. So we did 11. So now it's time to get sewing. Just try to keep your hands steady, as you get better, the more you do it, the better you'll get. And try not to stretch the fabric while you're doing it, because it can mess it up, or pull on anything too tight, because I have broken many needles by doing that. So just try to keep a steady hand, not pulling or pushing on anything. Just let the machine just do everything for you. And sometimes I have to stop and realign just to make sure it's on track, because if you don't hold it in the right place, you can end up having your ribbon and your fringe way at the top of the dress. But I'll go ahead and keep sewing and then show you guys the end result. So this is the end result. That's the stitching right there that she picked. Not too bad.
I love my skirt.